Okay, you have made it to the final paragraph of your organizer for the TDA. I am very proud of you. This has been a lot of hard work. We're almost there. Just stay with me and we'll get through this together. So before I get started going through the three parts of the conclusion, I want to make sure that you have your organizer pulled up in another tab or split screen with this Edpuzzle. Make sure you go back to assignment 84 and open that up. And I'm going to pause the video while you get yourself situated, and then we will move forward. Okay, the conclusion paragraph is in three pieces. It starts out with something called the rephrased thesis. Then it goes into some synthesis sentences, and then finally a call to action. I'm going to walk you through each part and explain it to you and give you some examples and how you can write yours too. So the first part is to rephrase your thesis sentence. What you'll do is you'll go up to your thesis sentence. Remember, that's in the introduction. That's the last sentence in your introduction in that green box. And I'm going to read mine so you can see see what my original thesis was. The most important theme in the book is that it is not always easy to show courage. So I'm talking about what I thought the most important theme was, and you're doing the same thing. You just have a different theme. So I'm going to take that idea, not word for word, but I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to rewrite it as the first sentence in my conclusion. And I'm going to begin it with the phrase, in conclusion. That's a nice transition into our final paragraph, and I want you to start your conclusion just like that. In conclusion, comma. And I took my thesis and I just rewrote it this way. I put, an important lesson taught in the novel, The Watsons Go to Birmingham, is it is not always easy to be courageous. So it's the same idea. I just didn't copy it word for word. I want you to go back to your thesis, look at it, and then rephrase it, beginning with in conclusion as the first sentence of your concluding paragraph. Go ahead and work on that now, and I'll pause the video. All right, very good. Now we're going to move into the synthesis sentences. Now this should be 2 to 3 sentences. It's no less than 2, but no more than 3. It doesn't have to be long. And basically what you're doing here is you're going back to your body and you're kind of summarizing what you wrote in your body, okay? So I'm going to go back to the body paragraph that I wrote. And remember, mine was about how Kenny found courage to help himself get through his struggles. And I found a couple of examples, like when he ran to the church when the bomb went off, and at the very end when he smiled when Byron helped him come out from behind the couch, and he kind of has a better perspective on things at the very end of the book, which took courage. And then I talked about that. I explained why I chose that evidence and why I think it's important to the story and the theme. So I'm just kind of rereading what I wrote in the body. Then I go back to my conclusion and I basically summarize what I thought, okay? Or if I have new thinking about all of my body paragraph sentences, that would be even better, because that's what synthesis really means, is to come up with even a new idea based on what you've already written. This is what I wrote. I wrote, throughout the novel, there are multiple examples of courageous choices made by all the Watson family members, and Kenny shows one major example at the end of the novel. Kenny's decision helps teach the readers of this novel that even though it's difficult to be brave, we all have courage within us, even if we don't see it at first. So I took kind of those ideas and I generalized it to how Kenny kind of represents all of us. We can all be in really scary situations, but if we dig deep enough, we can find the courage within us. So that's my synthesis. That's kind of my new idea based on what I learned about Kenny in the book. So what I want you to do is to go back, look at the body paragraphs, look at your evidence, and just kind of refresh your memory, and then write 2 to 3 sentences synthesizing or summarizing what you wrote in the body. I'm going to pause the video so you can do that. All right, this is it. The last 2 sentences, or 3 sentences if you want to. This is called the call to action. And this is a great way to end an argument essay. And this is what you've been writing is an argument essay. You're trying to persuade your reader to think a certain way, to agree with you on this topic. So the call to action challenges the reader to act or think about the Watson's experience in terms of your topic. So if your topic is family, you want to talk about family at the end. If your topic is choices, you want to talk about choices. And the same with what was the third one? Making good choices, family, and what was the third one? Choices, family, and oh, you know what it is. If you're writing about it, you know exactly what it is. So mine was finding courage. So I start out talking about Kenny, but then the second sentence, notice how I'm talking to the reader. And that's what I would like you to do. I want you to talk to the reader. So I said, Kenny may be a fictional character, but he represents the importance of courage. This is where I'm talking to the reader. We must always remember that we have courage inside of us. Be patient. You will find it when you need it most. So I'm talking to the reader, and I'm convincing the reader to agree with what my argument is about courage and how we learned this from the character Kenny in the Watsons Go to Birmingham. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what you can say to the reader about your topic and ask the reader to think about so that you can have a nice solid conclusion to your essay, because you want to leave the reader thinking about your topic. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now so that you can write your 2 to 3 sentences, your call to action. All right, let's just recap what you've done today. You've rephrased your thesis, and you began with the in conclusion transition phrase. Then you synthesized or summarized the ideas in your body paragraph. And then the third part is you wrote a call to action where you're asking the reader to think about the topic and think about themselves in terms of the topic. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this Ed Puzzle. Congratulations, you finished your organizer for the Watsons Go to Birmingham TDA.